All right, everybody, welcome back in. This is the Bros Watch the Boys. This is going to be season 2, episode 4 review. In case you haven't followed along with us so far, this is a major freaking spoiler alert because we're going to talk about everything that happened in the episode. And we got a limited time to do so, and we got a lot to pack in. So we're going to start off talking about the episode. Bro, how you doing?
Doing great. Uh, we do have a lot to talk about. There's
We
so
got
much that happened in
we
this
have
episode.
we have so much to talk about. I want to start off. Homelander's on the warpath. What do you got?
Yep. Well, he's anxiously tapping his knee at the start of the episode. He threatens Starlight. He threatens Stormfront.
He
He
threatens everybody
threatens
other than Black
threatens
Noir.
pretty much everyone he comes into contact with
Yeah,
because he knows he's untouchable.
right.
I mean,
Um,
he knows he's like the Superman of the group.
we gotta we gotta revisit your favorite theme of this season because we get it early in the
Oh
episode this
yeah.
time. He goes to some secluded cabin, walks in.
Oh boy.
Stillwell is there, and they have another moment with the milk. And he was
He gets his milk moments in.
oh
He gets his favorite milk moment that he's ever
his
had. In
he
fact,
was all about his milk moment.
yeah,
And then to make things even more weird, we find out that Stillwell is doppelganger pretending to be Stillwell.
yeah.
Um,
So I thought this was like a dream sequence or something, like him imagining it,
yeah,
and then they do that little flick, and you get Doppelganger, who we've seen before. He's not
right.
really. He's just kind of like in the background, but we see him uh, lose his form, and then Homelander gets extremely upset.
Oh yeah, he wasn't happy about that. I kind of thought it was going to be like a robot or something that he had Vought create or something, something like that. But true to form for this show, they get even more weird, and
Yeah. Oh,
we get the man doppelganger, and we're gonna come back to doppelganger a little later. Where you want to go next?
I mean, I guess the confrontation between him and Starlight, between Homelander and Starlight,
Yeah,
where they're in the elevator, and I mean, we've seen that Starlight is bulletproof, so for him to disarm her and stick his hand up under her ribs and like
yeah,
get in there,
oh
oh
yeah,
boy. Like we knew Homelander was strong. We just don't know how strong because he's never really been tested. He got hit by a bus in the last episode, so we know he can at least take damage. But he
yeah,
manhandled a soup that was more than bulletproof very easily.
yeah. No, he's the top dog, and he knows it, and that's the biggest problem. Is that he knows he's top dog. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, and I think for now Starlight has convinced him that you know she's on his side more or less.
Yeah.
She didn't really she did she didn't kill Huey, but it wasn't that she didn't want to kill him. She wanted him to she wanted him to go through the proper process, and Homelander seemed to
Yes.
respect that. So hopefully, for the next little bit, Starlight can kind of fly under the radar a little bit. But then staying on the Starlight theme, she calls up lover
Yeah.
boy Huey. We
Yep.
go on a little road trip down at North Kakalaki, down to
Oh,
Raleigh,
we get
and
the most adorable road trip.
we get a little Billy Joel scene
Yep.
there, which I really enjoyed the Billy Joel coming back. Um,
Yeah. I
and
knew
then
Mother's Milk was gonna turn it off too.
100%. Mother's Milk seems very bothered by everything that was going on. We do get Huey and Starlight hooking up again.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, she does her little lights trick and dims the lights with her eyes a little bit just to give it
Um,
some more mood.
yeah, no, it's just season one when they were hooking up the first time, and she
Yeah.
arrived
I
at
know. Take it easy,
fruition.
Tim. Compose yourself.
And the
We're on
eyes,
video right now.
yeah, the eyes, yeah, when she arrived at home base and the eyes went off, it might have done some things for me. Anyway, moving on, they go to, they're in Raleigh to find a connection
Yes.
to this old superhero by the name of Liberty, and we get to see someone who was on the wrong side of Liberty in the past, and I'll give you the honors of giving us the big bombshell from this episode.
Yeah, so we find out that not only is Liberty someone we know, it is Stormfront. So she not only is racist, she's been racist for a very long time. At least they said it was 57, I think. So like she's been doing her racial profiling for a very long time and apparently doesn't age, which is interesting because we there are a lot of things about Soups that the show hasn't revealed. Like, are they supposed to be sexually sterile? Are Do they age? Do they age the same way that humans do? So
Hmm.
we have maybe an answer, maybe not. I don't
Right.
know.
Well, we're definitely. I think between Homelander passing his soup genes down to Ryan, and now
Yeah.
knowing that Stormfront essentially doesn't age, I think we're definitely getting a lot of backstory, and I mean, obviously, we're gonna get more as to kind of the biology and genetics behind soups and what they can and can't do more so than just their powers.
Yeah, it's definitely a question left open because they've obviously shown different soups. Like even Mesmer had aged greatly, right? Like before Butcher killed him, he had aged a lot, and there have been other soups that they've talked about aging. So we don't know if that's kind of like an outlier or if that's just the norm. It'll be interesting to explore because like imagine if you have Homelander who, if he wanted to, he could be a tyrant over the whole world. Um, we don't know if he's immortal or not.
Yeah, I mean the fact of like him, or even now that we know Stormfront doesn't age, her closeted alt right like neo-Nazi type stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
we get even further proof of her dropping another racial epithet. As she killed an innocent black man in the '70s, um,
Yes.
and um, that's something too that where she tells Homelander later in the episode, she only needs 5 million. She has 5 million soldiers. She says she didn't even call them
Yes.
fans, diehards, nothing.
Yeah.
She calls them soldiers. Um, so there's a coup coming, and we did get in the last episode right before Raina died. She said it was a coup from the inside. I don't know if
Yep.
that meant Stormfront is the coup or if there's someone else and now Stormfront has entered. The coup was going on before, and now Stormfront is another. So we may have a power struggle between three different factions within Vought and the military.
Yeah. Very true. And something that's interesting that they showed for just a little bit was that Stormfront, we see that she is incredibly quick. She can fly, and she can fly
Oh yeah,
just as fast as Homelander. So we see that even though she's got this terrible, I'm, she's definitely a neo-Nazi at this point. Um, she has just as much power as Homelander. So we get this area where like maybe she can beat him. We don't know.
yeah, because we hadn't seen her fly last episode. I don't remember. Right? We saw obviously her strength with the
We
lightning,
did
if
see
you
a little bit
will.
of her flying, but it was very slow because she flew through the
Right.
building as she destroyed
Yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah. So now we know that she's as quick as Homelander is. Um,
Yeah,
and I did say last episode she's gonna be a problem. And I
yeah,
think the clash between him and her, because there's no way Homelander's giving up power or even sharing power.
yeah.
They have to bump heads,
He's
and
very clearly like I've always been at the top, so you're either gonna bow to me or I'm going to kill you.
yeah, and I can see it now. Butcher's gonna be put in a position where he's gonna be forced to basically help Homelander.
Oh
Does
yeah,
does he
they're
do it?
definitely going that
Yeah,
direction.
does he do it? Does he not do it? And another part of that too is we get the reveal where he breaks into Becca's compound to see her.
Yes.
Doesn't really give a shit about her son, which I mean I don't know if I necessarily
Yes.
blame him, but and then he plans to smuggle them out, and then she shows up at the time they're supposed to smuggle out, says I'm not going, and then basically says you don't really care if this kid comes. Like he's not yours. It's not that you shouldn't care, but like that's still my son, even though Homelander raped me, and that's how I have a son. And I'm not leaving. And then she even
Yeah.
goes so far as to call the guards on him, so that she basically forces him to leave them alone.
Yeah. So that whole thing was very complex and very interesting because it showed that Becca still knew Butcher so well, like down to his
Hmm.
every single action and feeling, that she knew that he wouldn't be able to cope with Ryan being there for two reasons, because it was the product of Homelander raping her, which is the source of all of his hate for Soups for the
Hmm.
past nine years, right? I believe Ryan's 9. Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't quite remember, but that's shaped his whole character since he lost Becca and thought she was murdered by Homelander. Uh, and then to learn that, yes, she was actually raped, it wasn't anything else. Like, there's just so much going through Butcher, and she knows exactly what's going through his head, which was such a nice touch on her character.
But I don't know. I mean, you mentioned that it kind of shaped his opinion of Soups, but she does mention that he had that same kind of hate uh, in him before everything happened.
I
So
think it wasn't directed, though.
I want. Was it directed hate? I want like some kind of flashback, because I kind of took that to mean like he hated Soups from the beginning, like well before anything happened. So if that's the case, I would like to get some kind of flashback as to where that
It,
happened. Was it a product of his raising? Was it something else that happened before that he saw, and then the thing with Becca and Homelander exacerbated that. So I'm
yeah.
very interested to see what they do with that.
Yeah, it is. Again, we there's so many things that we don't know. Like, they give you so much on each episode, and then you just have more questions. Like, however they're crafting the plot, it's very well done and keeps you enthralled with each episode.
Hmm.
Also, Homelander kills Doppelganger, so we don't have to worry about him
Well,
replacing anyone anymore.
he didn't just kill Doppelganger. Doppelganger transformed into Homelander and
Yes.
was
Oh,
trying to seduce Homelander as Homelander,
as
and that
Homelander.
was that was really that was something, boy. That was a
That
weird.
was
That was a
definitely a
very
weird scene. Imagine being Anthony Starr and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna try to seduce yourself and go down on yourself. How would that happen?
well. I think we
Get into
saw it.
touch with that."
Yeah, we saw. Really, really, where are you gonna go with this emotion inside? Where are you gonna
Yeah, like
channel this energy? You know, um, and then I guess real quick, like he does kind of force A Train to retire, but then the interview with Maria Menounos, I guess he kind of mentions A Train, so maybe he's gonna
yeah,
keep him around just for because they were kind of saying, I did find it interesting. They said 92% of Soups are Caucasian, so
yes.
maybe that has something to do with Stormfront being around since whatever 50s, 60s, 70s. Maybe she's
It could,
involved with
because
Vought in some
the
way like
whole
that.
company was founded off of a Nazi.
Right.
So maybe there's those deep ties where it's just never been dealt with and no one's ever really uncovered it, and that's why she had an in with Edgar's. We don't
And
know.
and uh, and maybe that's them. It's like Vought. Her whole social media deal could be just her doing, because she has been around for that long, or it could be Vought just doing what Vought does and controlling everything anyway. So I'm kind of interested to see how that little bit's going to play out as well.
See, there's always next week.
Did we miss anything? We had a lot to go over.
Kimiko tries to kill Stormfront, and
French
Frenchie is deteriorating. He's spiraling downward in drugs. We knew that he did drugs, but
snorting.
he like took one tab of acid one time, and that was it.
Yeah, yeah, he's snorting about everything under the sun, but he shows up to save Kimiko after he freaked
Yep.
her out when he tried to kiss her earlier in the episode. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. It is interesting. I think I can see Frenchie at some point, maybe this season, maybe next, sacrificing himself to save Kimiko somewhere,
Oh,
and then
please don't even put that out in the universe.
it's.
Just he is adorable.
Have
He's
you
perfect.
have you seen this show? Have you seen this show?
I have seen the show. Yeah,
He's
just
getting it
don't.
at some point.
After season one, they just shouldn't touch Frenchie. Please, like, give me a full Frenchie episode if you're gonna kill him off, but don't touch him. He's
Yeah.
adorable.
So I think that does it. I think we got everything. Uh, if we didn't get everything, leave us a comment. We'll try and hit it next week. Season 2, episode 4. The Bros Watch the Boys. We're out.